Hello there everyone, and welcome to How to Play and Build. Today we are going to be talking about how to both play and build tier in Season 5 of Smite. Today I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks, a strong build option, as well as some other miscellaneous things such as the order in which to level your abilities. But that's enough preamble, let's dive in. So let's just start with a general overview of Tyr. Tyr is a warrior. He is a tanky, bruiser type warrior who is all about diving into the backline and causing as much disruption as possible with Fearless. So what makes Tyr so good is the fact that he cannot be crowd controlled for more than a second at a time. So per crowd control ability, it will not affect Tyr for more than a second. This is really huge considering picks like Athena are really good right now. But then to quickly talk about the rest of Tyr's kit, Tyr is a stance switching character. So he has his aggressive stance and his defensive stance, and depending on what stance you're in affects the amount of power or protections that you get. But what's more important than that crap is that he has both 2 dashes and 2 cleaves. So the move is called Power Cleave, but it's basically just a really strong cone. One cone does a lot of damage, one cone does a lot of damage, and also heals, depending on what stance you're in. Now, that's the overview of his abilities. His ultimate is just a fucking leap. But all that crap aside, let's just talk about some tips and tricks that I have for Tyr. Tyr in the early game is not the greatest character, but he is a hell of a lot stronger than he used to be. So the fact that you can now switch stances at level 1 makes his level 1 and 2 super good. But honestly, it's not as good as, say, Erlang Shen. Now, what you can do as Tyr, and here's what I recommend you do at level 1, is you just take your second ability and you cleave the wave as much as possible, toggling between your stances as you can. So now let's talk about some stuff you may not necessarily know. I'm going to be speaking in terms of the power stance, so your power Fearless has 2 knock-up hits, as well as your second ability, if they are already in the air, is going to provide a 3rd knock-up. And that 3rd knock-up on red power cleave can be directed. So what that means is if you're already juggling someone with Fearless and you look in a different direction when you're power cleaving them in the air, they are going to go to that new direction. That is really good for setting people up for, say, getting body blocked into a wall, or just generally throwing someone towards a carry so that your carry just can't miss, right? Things like that are super good. Now, in general, if you're looking to, say, just all in and combo someone to death, what you want to do is you want to grab them with red Fearless, power cleave them, then you want to immediately stance switch blue power cleave into your dash. That is going to get them either really low or just straight kill them. And then you can ult away because Tyr's a fair and balanced character. My best recommendation is to never engage with your blue defensive stance because you just don't do enough crowd control. All you really have at your hands there is a disarm and a heal, but you want to do that after you go all in with your red stance so that you can heal up some of the damage. Anyway, that's all my tips and tricks for Tyr. Let's move into the build. So with the recent changes to, say, Warrior's Blessing, it's not nearly as important as getting Gladiator Shield online early. So to start the game, you are going to build the Tier 1 of Gladiator Shield, pick up your teleport, pick up your chalice, some potions, and head to lane. Once you have enough gold to pick up Gladiator Shield, you are going to buy that item, and then teleport back to lane. Super important, best item on Tyr, okay? Then you can start playing to actually win the lane, because if you're poking people with abilities, you are going to get mana and health refunded to you. Super important item. After you're finished your Gladiator Shield, you are going to start building into Warrior Tabby, just the best boot for Tyr. Then after that, we are going to start stacking defensive items. So you're going to build Breastplate of Valor because the CDR and mana is super important for Tyr. Then after that, Pestilence, because at this point in the game, you're going to want magic defense. Then afterwards, Spirit Robe, because honestly, Spirit Robe is one of those items that Tyr gets a lot out of. Because as I mentioned before, Tyr can only be crowd controlled for 1 second at a time. So he actually gets to move while that Spirit Robe proc is active, whereas other tanks may not necessarily get to do that. Then to finish it off, you're pretty much just flexing into any other defensive item that you need. Most of the time, I'd say opt for Mantle of Discord. So that's the build. The last thing I'm going to touch on here is the ability leveling order for Tyr, because this is honestly something that if you do it my way, you're gonna have a bit more power at your disposal a little bit earlier. So My leveling order is the ignore stance switch leveling order, where you are going to pick up Power Cleave at level 1, Fearless at level 2, Power Cleave at level 3. You're going to level up nothing at level 4, and then at level 5 you're going to put a tick into your alt and a third tick into Power Cleave. Then at level 6 you can put a tick into your stance switching ability, and then it's just a matter of maxing out Power Cleave, maxing out Fearless, then you max out your alt, then you max out your stance switch. This is my favorite way to level up tier because at level 5, when you have that third tick that you wouldn't necessarily have if you were leveling an ability every single level, you are going to be hitting them harder than they think you are hitting them for. So it requires the opponent to adjust to you, which is always something cool that you want to see if your opponent actually has a brain up there. Anyways, that's the guide. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more stuff from me in the future, hit my face in the bottom left to make sure you subscribe and keep up to date with me. If you want to watch more stuff from me right now, I have quite a bit to choose from, but I'm going to put 2 videos on the screen right now for you to choose from. Anyway guys, this is Keltick, signing off. Have yourselves a casual day.